Hello, let's go through the proper connection and setup of the BixiCon intervalometer. After ordering our BixiCon unit, the package will contain the following: a BixiCon intervalometer, an LTE antenna, a Wi-Fi antenna, USB cable for connecting a storage device. We also offer optional accessories: a shutter release, a DC coupler for camera power supply. You will also need a camera, USB cable to connect a camera, a SIM card if using your operator's LTE network, an SSD or USB flash drive for data storage. Now let's move on to setting up the intervalometer. Take the unit and connect either the LTE or the Wi-Fi antenna, depending on what you want to use. If you're going to use LTE, insert a SIM card into the unit. The SIM card must click when inserted into the unit. In this video, we'll be using LTE connectivity. We've just prepared the unit and can move on to connecting the accessories. Start with the camera, where you insert the DC coupler into the battery compartment. Connect the shutter release and the USB cable. Now connect everything to the unit: the USB cable for data transfer, the shutter release to start shooting, and the camera power cable. Let's move on to connecting the USB SSD. Connect the SSD to the supplied cable and then connect the cable to the unit. The last step is to connect the unit to a power supply and set the configuration mode. Once the unit is powered, the green LED lights up. Wait for the unit to boot up, which can take around 40 seconds. After that, the unit beeps. Now press the reset button to activate the configuration mode. The unit has booted up, so hold the reset button for about 3 seconds. The orange LED comes on and the unit is now in the configuration mode. In the previous steps, you have finished the configuration of the intervalometer and now you connect to it and perform the basic setup. The unit has created its own Wi-Fi network, to which you now need to connect. The Wi-Fi network name is BixiCon, plus the serial number of the unit. After connecting to the Wi-Fi network, open a browser and enter the address 10.10.10.10, which will take you to the unit. To log in, use the default credentials, which are admin and admin. After logging in, you will be taken to the unit's initial overview page, which displays additional information such as information about the connected storage device, information on temperature and input voltage. If you have our solar unit, you can see information on it as well: the unit's serial number and its current version. Let's move on to the actual setup. Let's start with the first general tab, where it's possible to set the unit's name and the time zone. If the BixiCon Cloud is disabled, enable it so that you can manage the unit remotely. The last option is the power mode, where you could choose between two options. One is normal, where the unit is always online, while the other is power safe, where the unit sleeps between taking pictures. It will only wake up at preset times to shoot. This mode is suitable in combination with solar panels. We leave it in the normal mode and move on to the connection settings. we use LTE connection, so we choose LTE. In some cases, it is also necessary to set the APN based on the information from the provider. In exceptional cases, the number. Continue to the time-lapse tab, where you set the interval between shots. For now, we choose one interval with shooting on weekdays from Monday to Friday, every 10 minutes, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have now set the interval, so let's move on to the camera settings. We set the rigger via shutter release, enable power camera from unit, disable keeping images on the SD card in the camera. Here you have the option to make additional settings. See the manual. You can also set up email reports by entering your email address. The unit will send you emails with information about the shooting progress. We're almost done. Go to the Storage tab, where you set the file name of the pictures to be stored, and select the file name and time format. The unit can calculate date and time by itself, but it is possible to use the date and time from the eFix information of the picture. Set the remote storage. In our case, we choose BixiCon Drive. Next, set the usage of the local storage. You can save all pictures, or you can use it only as a backup for non-uploaded pictures. You can also choose whether to upload all pictures or just some of them. We keep the default settings and save all the changes. Now wait for the unit to reboot. The unit has rebooted. We can see our settings on the dashboard. The current date, shooting via shutter release, the BixiCon Drive storage. You can see that the LTE connection is not yet active, so wait a moment. It may take about 1 minute. Refresh the dashboard page, and now the LTE connection is set up. After finishing the setup, go to the last tab, where you can perform individual tests to see whether everything is set up correctly and working properly. Perform the camera tests, which may take a while. After a successful test, you can also check the picture. Test the remote storage. Test whether the unit has internet access and everything is set up correctly. Okay. You can test whether the local storage connection is correct. And lastly, you can test whether you have set up email notifications correctly. Now we've gone through the whole setup. If anything is unclear, please do not hesitate to contact us at info@bixion.com. Thank you for your attention.